We are 80 samurai against an army, fighting to slow the invasion. Today, I die for my people.
You are listening to StudioMguyvR's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast.
This is for you. Away.
What is going down? What the fuck is going down? It is your boy, StudioMguyvR, and you are listening to StudioMguyvR's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. If you're new to the podcast, welcome to the show. If you're into nerd culture, if you're into video games, anime, those type of things, then you've come to the right place. We talk about all of that here. And let's begin the show, guys. It's not going to be a very large show, but I do have a few things to talk about. And one is really a surprise to me. It's a huge surprise to me. And I'm talking about Ghost of Tsushima. This game is fucking epic. I knew it was going to be good. Please don't get it twisted. Sucker Punch, they are a great company. They're known for a lot of these games out here in these digital streets, but I did not think that I was going to love this game as much as I do. Okay. I have not beaten the game yet. It just came out Friday. I didn't even get my hands on the game until late Friday because of GameStop and, a couple other things. I'm going to get into that. But guys, I thought Game of the Year was going to be between The Last of Us 2 and Cyberpunk 2077. Well, I have to take that back, and I have to put Ghost of Tsushima in the fucking mix. I have to throw their hat in the fucking ring because this game is amazing. Okay. Gonna get into that more a little bit later. A couple other things I want to talk about, some Nintendo stuff. Yes. And I hate the fact that, it's coming out right around the corner, like literally in a number of hours today on Monday. And I'm not going to be able to get that news to you guys. But next week is probably going to be a nice little podcast because hopefully by then I have beaten Ghost of Tsushima and, we get the Nintendo news and we get whatever else falls into my lap within this next week. A lot of things are happening. A lot of things are going down in the video game world, the community out here in these video game streets. You got the PlayStation shit. You got the Xbox stuff in the air. When are these release dates going to be dropped? What are the prices going to be? So on and so forth. So, all kinds of things end up happening from day to day. And I'll definitely keep you guys posted on that. And also, if you check out the fucking YouTube channel, there will be news and there will be discussions on some of these said subjects as well. Like I said, I talk about anime, I talk about video games, and usually those two things are the main topics of discussion. But yeah, man, nerd culture, they're sprinkled in there too. We got Star Wars, we got, certain movies, things of that nature in there as well. So yeah, man, just check it out. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, if you're listening to this podcast on a weekly basis, guys, go ahead and just subscribe to Studio MacGyver TV as well. You know what I'm saying? So you got the best of both worlds. You got, you got the podcast and you also got your boy on YouTube. So anyway, a lot of things happened. A few of them I want to talk about. One in particular is, like I said, there's some Nintendo shit here. There's a little bit of some Dragon Ball Super info in the building. Yes, I know, guys, what's been going on with Dragon Ball. All we have right now is the manga to go off of. No anime to speak of. No movies since the last one, the Broly movie. So, it's been kind of dry, like an old piece of fucking chicken that, somebody left out in Walmart, a day too fucking long. And it's all good, but we hopefully get some anime shit coming from Dragon Ball soon, man. I really, really hope so. You know, I know I told you guys I was going to try to watch some anime this fucking past week, but I have not had that chance. I started one and I only watched one episode, and I'm not even going to mention it yet because I liked it. The first episode, don't get it twisted. I really liked it, but I don't want to get into it until I get a little further into it. I want to make sure it's going to stick. You know, sometimes you get that beautiful first or second episode, and after that, you know, it falls on its face. But I think I'm going to have faith that this one's going to pull through and do some magic. You know, it's a short anime. It's only 12 episodes. You know, I like those short and sweet kind of episodes and kind of anime. So hopefully it does good. And if it does, I'll definitely talk about it. I am going to get it done this week. Yes. So that'll be one assignment, you know, that I'll be doing. And then, of course, trying to mop up Ghost of Tsushima, which, like I said, I'll get to it in a minute, man. And I don't even know if I'm going to have enough time to do that because why am I still going on? I'm going to wait. Okay. I'm just going to wait and get all into this game when I get to it, because I want to give all my energy, all my time to this game. But anyway, let's talk about a little bit of some Nintendo stuff real quick. Let's get that out of the way. You know, if you guys don't know, if you've been hiding under a rock, then you probably didn't hear about Nintendo, the Paper Mario game. You know, the Origami King came out recently. And usually when these type of games are announced or when they come out, they're Nintendo's kind of staple. They're their first party games that Nintendo, you know, does a lot of. And we all know Mario. We all grew up on Mario. A lot of us did. And, you know, I just assume this game is just going to be a smash, just for the simple fact that, you know, it's a Paper Mario game and it's a new Paper Mario game on the Nintendo Switch. And I just thought they were going to put some dope shit in here. Well, you know, I thought I'd take a look at the reviews and see what people were talking about, just kind of catch the vibe of the game. And yeah, it didn't go too well. Well, I'm not going to say the game sucked because it definitely didn't suck from what I saw on the reviews. The average score on this game is about a 7.5. You know what I mean? So that's pretty good. That's actually a good game. That if you look at a 70 or higher, the game is considered good. Okay. So that's what we're rocking with right now. If you're going off of, like, I guess the major press, you know, the big boys like the IGNs of the world and the Metacritics and the game spots and stuff like that, I'll give you a quick synopsis on that. IGN is giving it a 7 out of 10, the lowest out of these three. You also have Metacritic, which is 81% right now as of this podcast. That can change, but right now that's what we're at. And then we also have GameSpot, which gave it an 8 out of 10. So if you round those out, you're going to get, you know, you're going to come to around, about 75, 76, something like that. That's the average you'll be getting. And, you know, that's pretty decent. That's a pretty decent game. I just think that I was looking for like 9s or 10s. Honestly, I thought that was going to be hitting, and I was going to maybe even get my hands on it. I haven't played a lot of Switch lately, you know, in the last month or so. So I was going to try to see what that's looking like. I'm going to wait. I'm just going to wait on it. I'm going to see what some other people are saying, but I think this is safe to say, the score here is probably going to be what that is on average going around when you're talking about things. Now, one thing I did hear about this game a lot from a lot of people who were talking about it in their reviews were that the game was really simple. It was very, very easy, and it was very repetitive. Okay. Those are the things that a lot of people heard. Now, if you want to look at how people kind of grade their game, sometimes a lot of people are a little bit biased and they give it a slightly higher score than what it really deserves. Now I'm looking at this IGN score, and I know a lot of people have a lot of shit to say about IGN and how they review games. And there's been a lot of boo-boo when it comes to how they fucking do shit, you know, especially as of late. But some of their reviews, man, are spot on, man. I mean, I have to admit, you know, in my opinion, you know, I think their reviews of The Last of Us 2 was great. Giving it a 10. I gave that game a 10 as well. I just think that game was a fucking classic. I think that game is just, it's a great experience. You know what I mean? I'm looking at somebody who, if you just picked up the game and played it, and you didn't really know anything about the characters, man, you gotta give it, for the graphics and for the atmosphere, all of these characters. I mean, you'd have to give it that score, in my opinion. Like I said, just coming from me. So, I kind of ride with what they say, and then, like I said, I also look at, a lot of other people's reviews. You don't want to go off of just one review. And I think 7 out of 10 is, probably going to be about right. Maybe 75 when you're talking about this Nintendo game. Now, that's pretty good. That. Like I said before, I'm not going to get all into it, but if you guys are Nintendo Switch players like me, and you're a Nintendo fan, wondering if you should pick this up, I definitely say it's going to be worth your money, depending on how you feel about Mario and, a lot of their games. Even just if you break it down to the Paper Mario series, Paper Mario was a pretty dope game. Nintendo 64, they did a lot of great things. They've always been quite simple to a certain degree, if you ask me, but that's here nor there. It's really up to the person, If you're into that, if you're a big Mario fan, which there are thousands, millions probably out there in these digital streets, you probably want to pick this up and give it a gander, man. Now me personally, it'd be a game that I'd say, okay, I might pick this shit up and play it when a price drop comes around. But Nintendo, if you guys know, they're synonymous for, dragging their feet when it comes to putting some of these games on sale. They're cartridge based. It's more expensive to produce them. And there's a lot of underlining things that go on behind the way they price their shit, especially their first party games. Now, third party or games that aren't, actually really known out here, you can get those to drop. And even those are going to be a challenge sometimes. You're not going to get those $20, those $15 Nintendo Switch games, physical copy. You're not going to get those a lot of the time. You can get lucky sometimes or whatever, but those first party games, those Mario games and shit like that, no. That game will probably end up being, $50, $60 for the foreseeable future. And I mean like all the way down the line. Okay. Cause there's still DS games that are like damn near, the same price they were when they came out, and you're not even getting it brand new. Okay. So that's just how Nintendo rolls, and it's their prerogative. But if the price doesn't drop, I won't be doing that one. Okay. Moving on. Now that we're talking about Nintendo anyway, while we're on the subject, they have a Nintendo Direct Mini coming out today. Technically, this podcast is going out Monday, and it is happening Monday. And I hate that because I usually record, Sunday night or early Monday morning, like, 2-3 o'clock in the morning, which is what I'm doing right now. So it kind of sucks that I won't be able to catch, what they're going to be talking about until, next week, but it's all good, because it'll give me time to look into it. It'll definitely give me time. I don't want to rush it. I definitely want to take a look at what they got going on. Now, are there some games that I really wish we get some info on? Maybe some release dates, maybe some release date windows. Fuck yeah. And 2 of those games, guys, one of them is actually trending as of this podcast, is Bayonetta 3. Bayonetta 3 is a trending game, and there's another one that's actually trending, but it's further down. Really, both these games, and the one that I'm really, really wanting to play, don't get it twisted, I love me some Bayonetta with her fine, sexy, smart, glass-wearing ass. But the game I really, really want to play is No More Heroes 3. I cannot wait to play that one. I hope they do big things with it. I have a lot of faith, I really, really do, that they're going to kill it with this game, guys. I really think they're going to kill it. I was really let down by the second game on the Nintendo Switch because it wasn't what I was hoping. I thought it was going to play more like the original, franchise, when they came out, but it was more of like a party kind of game. I just didn't like the direction they were going with it. Now, apparently the third installment is going to be, cut from the cloth of the first game. Okay. And the second game. So those were awesome. Now let's get this third one in here and let's get it to slap like the first 2 did. And hopefully we get some information on that, maybe a trailer, maybe some gameplay, but I'm really, really kind of, wishing upon a star with that shit. I just want a release date window, so at least we know what to expect, when to expect it, and we can get on with our Nintendo lives. You know what I'm saying? And go from there. But yeah, that's what everybody's really wanting to see. Those are the two games. Bayonetta 3 has really got everybody watering at the mouth, trying to figure out what's going to happen. And like I said, it's a Nintendo Direct Mini, so they could pull out the warm butter on us and try to fuck us with some, rinky dink shit, whatever they got, like Shit Boy or something, that was made by, an indie developer, and it's slated for early 2021. I hope we don't run into that wall, but hey, if we do, fuck it. It is what it is. Sometimes it goes like that in the gaming world. That's pretty much where we're at with the Nintendo stuff. That's what we got. That's all I'm giving. And like I said, next week's podcast, I will definitely be covering the Nintendo Direct Mini. Excuse me, guys. There's a fucking fly in here or some shit. And I apologize in advance. If you hear any strange noises, like some all of that bullshit, it's because of that. I'm sorry. Anyway, trying to get this podcast out and done for you guys so we can keep it moving and I can get back to some Ghost of Tsushima. Okay. Anyway, let's get on some Dragon Ball shit real quick. I want to brush up on that. Now, chapter 62 is not among us yet. It's a lot of images floating around right now. And one of the main images that is fucking crazy is Goku getting his fucking chest blown out. He basically has a fucking hole the size of a fist, basically through his chest. He got fucked up majorly by Moro. If you guys haven't been keeping up with the manga, it's very, very good. It's really one of the best arcs that I have seen in a Dragon Ball story arc, period. I mean, since the Frieza saga, in my opinion. Now, everybody has their own favorite sagas, their favorite arcs or whatever in Dragon Ball, and the Frieza saga is just mine. Was it drawn out a little bit? Yes, you can argue that, but if you watch Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Kai, then Dragon Ball Z Kai is different. It's a little bit speedier. The only difference with Kai and that one thing I couldn't get with Kai compared to the original is the voice actor of Frieza. Okay, I'm a Linda Young guy. She's the original voice of Frieza, and I will always and forever love her for that. And I can't see Frieza being anybody else. But then I forgot the other guy who they're using now, but it's just not the same. Dragon Ball Z Kai is way better than I gave it credit for, that I thought it was going to be until I watched it. They did a really good job with Kai on a lot of different things. So let's just see where this goes. Let's just see where Dragon Ball Super goes. But apparently Goku is out here leaking out here in these anime streets. He got fucked up pretty bad. And it doesn't look good, man. It just doesn't. This dude Moro is acting a donkey. And I've talked about this arc plenty of times, guys, on this podcast. But if you do not, or you're not familiar with it, you definitely need to check it out online. Check out Moro. Check out the whole arc in its entirety up to this point. And I think you will be satisfied if you're a Dragon Ball fan and if you're looking for that Dragon Ball fix. And yeah, man, I mean, that's it. I'll know more when the actual chapter comes out, and I'll give you guys a quick breakdown of what actually happened in this latest chapter. Apparently Vegeta is out here getting used again, getting mopped up, as he always does. He always gets his little chance to shine, but then he's eventually mopped up and the butter is basically put on the table. And that's pretty much what's going on now with Vegeta. It's to the point now where I'm like, you know what, man, this Vegeta shit, I just need to get my mind ready. And I think we all do if we're Vegeta fans out here listening. We need to get our minds ready and just accept the fact that Vegeta will never, ever, ever surpass Goku. I mean, I'm starting to believe that. I think Toriyama just is not going to let it happen, man. I mean, I think it's just the Goku show when you break everything down and look at all the pieces. And hey, it's all good. That's fine. That's what he wanted to do. And like I said, man, whenever you hear me bitch and moan about a character in Dragon Ball, it basically just means that, hey, they're doing a great job, because without these characters, there would be no arguing. So I have to, as much as I bitch and moan about certain things going on with certain characters, I have to, on the other hand, give credit where credit is due for the creator of these characters. Okay. And that's just a little advice that I give you guys, because, we're so passionate because we love these characters so much, and it's cool. I mean, it's okay to be upset about characters and all that, but I'm not one of those guys who are going to, send death threats to Toriyama or who else, or, Toyotaro or these guys, because I didn't like the way that they're treating these characters. Yeah, I'm frustrated with a lot of, things that happen to them, but hey, that's what it's supposed to do, I guess, in a sense. You're supposed to get riled up over certain characters that you care about. And the only reason why you're getting mad about it in the first place is because it's somebody you like a lot and you don't want to see them get done that way. And if they never existed, you wouldn't even be upset. So you got to thank the creators for at least making the characters you care so much about and that you're so irritated about when things happen to them that you don't necessarily want to happen to them. And that's just kind of like what it is. That's what we're left with. And I'm cool with that. If we're all, logical adults or logical people, teenagers here listening, then we should understand that, and that's all I'm saying with that. If you guys don't know me, I'm a big Tien Shinhan fan. I love Tien. He's one of my favorite characters. Vegeta is also one of my favorite characters in this, Dragon Ball universe. And I get real upset or real passionate with these characters a lot of the time. And, sometimes it will bleed into the microphone or it will bleed into my YouTube videos sometimes. And, that's just passion. That's all. It's not hate. It's just passion. I love Toriyama. Don't get it twisted. Okay. Because he created this world for us to, talk about. There would be no podcast if it wasn't for him. I don't think there would be no podcast. I mean, it's called, StudioMguyvR's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast for a reason, because Dragon Ball birthed me on anime. It was my first anime I fell in love with, and it basically gave me a segue into other anime, and it's the reason why anime is like such a huge part of my life right now, so I can never take that away from Toriyama, or Dragon Ball. Okay, anyway, let's get to the lecture at hand, guys, and I'm talking about Ghost of Tsushima. Oh man. I thought GameStop, which is where I got it from. I thought GameStop was going to, let me get it a day early, but did not happen. Okay, I had it pre-ordered or whatever, and it's another Sony exclusive game. All right, only on Sony. Only can get it for PS4, and I knew it was gonna be good, guys. I did. But I did not know it was going to be this awesome. I'm serious. I honestly did not know it. I sung praises head over heels for The Last of Us 2. And it deserved it, in my opinion. It deserves it. Okay. Before I go any further, let me just say this. Okay. The Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima are completely different games. They're not in the same, they're different games in a lot of ways. They're both single player experiences, which are my favorite genre of games. My favorite genre of game, if you guys are new to the podcast and listening, is single player open world adventure / action RPG-ish type of games. Your Ghost of Tsushima's now. Okay, Last of Us 2 is in there. You can throw that in there. It's a different kind of experience, though. It's not open world per se, but it's a single player, story driven experience. And Assassin's Creed series, the later series, the Odysseys and the Origins, those type of games. Those are what I live and breathe for, man. Put on my headphones, turn all the lights down low, and if my family and my kids and stuff will leave me alone for a while, I will lose myself in these worlds, in these universes, man. And Sony has just been kicking like karate as of late, and just period. The God of Wars. I mean, all these type of games, they're just brilliant. They're just fucking amazing, man. They just make me so happy to have a Sony PlayStation. It just does. It makes me, guys, I don't know what else to say. It's just a beautiful fucking game. And I have to honestly say right now, after about, how many hours have I played it so far? Maybe about 20 hours. Okay. I'm about 20 hours in the game. The game is about Japanese royalty per se, if you will. And they basically get their island, which is a huge island. They basically get bombarded by another entity, if you will. Okay. They get invaded and basically taken over, man. And and they get left bloody, bleeding, in disarray, and they're trying to find a way to remedy the situation, and it looks very hopeless. Okay, if you're into samurais, if you're into feudal Japan, this game is definitely for you. If you're into the culture, the Japanese culture of the old, all of that, the lore, the storytelling, all of that stuff, then this game is in your fucking wheelhouse. And that, my friends, is what I am all about. If I had to pick a game, theme that I could, jump in and play, it would be, Japanese for sure. Feudal Japan, you know what I mean? This type of shit, the samurais, the ninjas, the all of that. And this is what you're getting right here. The beauty of this game is just so stunning. I can honestly sit here and tell you now, I don't know the score I'm going to give it yet, but right now it's looking mighty fucking close to a goddamn 10. It's looking really good, really close, man. It reminds me, it's like my Japanese Breath of the Wild. Okay, if I can give it any kind of compare it to anything, man, it's like a Japanese Breath of the Wild in a sense. It has a lot of the same kind of feelings, tone, I guess, if you want to give it that, call it that. Man, it's just so breathtaking. It's so beautiful. I've always loved Japanese culture anyway. I've always been into that. Like I said, I'm a big anime fan. I love the anime culture, the anime scene, just everything about Japan. There's so many things that I love about it currently and historically. And this game, it just brings to life all of that. The photo mode in this game is ridiculous. I don't even have it figured out yet all the way. I'd be lying to you if I told you I did. I've only tried out a couple things, but you can get very intricate with this photo mode, and I intend to get very, very acquainted and learn it and figure out how everything works, because their photo mode is actually animated as well. So you can create your own animated photo mode scenes with music and all of these things, and then you can post them, and I'll definitely be doing that. I've already posted a couple pics. Check out my Twitter account, guys, and these are just a couple out of, I think I got about 50 right now, and I'm maybe one third done with the game. Okay, I just got to the second sector of the game. The island is divided into 3 pieces. That first piece is where you kind of go in there and you can cut your teeth and you can kind of, do a lot of dope shit. Now, I love the fact that the game gives you so much freedom. I'm not even done with it yet, and I don't want to spoil it because the game just came out. I do want to say that this game is looking to be my game of the year for 2020. I know this game is different than The Last of Us 2. I know this game is definitely going to be different than, Cyberpunk 2077. I'm still going to give Cyberpunk its chance to get out here and do its thing. This is, I think, the closest thing to what I have been looking for this year, or just in my wheelhouse, period, in a game. And it's nailing everything. It's nailing all of it. And like I said, I'm a little bit biased because of, me being, number one, that is my favorite genre of game. Number two, it is one of my favorite themes in a video game. And they're doing it so good. They're doing it right. That's another thing I had a question about. I didn't know if they were going to do it right because, a lot of people take on this theme, and because it's a popular theme to take on when you're talking about games and stuff like that, movies, whatever. And my question was, are they going to be able to rise to the challenge? Write a good story, make everything feel authentic and make you feel like you're really in this world. And they have done this 10 fucking fold. I am so invested in these characters, man. I am just so invested in this universe, in this world. It's crazy, man. Like, you guys have to, if you're not playing it, I don't know what to tell you. You need to fucking pick it up and play it, man. This one is, I wish I had the collector's edition. Now I'm like, fuck, I'm kicking myself because, man, I love it. I'm just glad I own the game physical. I was so anxious to play it because I was hearing all the reviews and everything, because they, lifted the embargo about a week early and everybody was singing its praises and stuff. And I was like, damn, I want to get my hands on it a friend of mine went ahead and said, you know what, I'm going to download it. He doesn't really care about physical copies and all that shit. So he did that. But I had to be strong and hold on, man, and wait till GameStop opened up at 12 o'clock because of the fucking, coronavirus shit and all that going on. They used to open at 10. Now they open at fucking noon. So I had to wait till noon and go in there and, get it for myself. So yeah, it hurt to wait and to watch him play the shit after midnight. You know what I'm saying? And then I had to sit there and wait for the time to go by so I could get my copy because I wanted physical. But it's all good. It was definitely worth the wait. Guys, when I tell you I have not left my TV since this game, since I started playing it like Friday night, I haven't. I mean, I stayed up till the fucking morning playing this shit. Went to sleep, woke up, took a shower, and jumped right back on this shit. Okay. I literally have the game in rest mode right now. I mean, I didn't start this podcast until about 4 a.m. I'm sitting here staring at a paused screen. Well, it was paused right before I started the podcast, before I turned it, put it in rest mode. This game is amazing. This is so far my favorite PlayStation game of 2020. And it could possibly be my favorite PlayStation game, bruh. I'm telling you, it's to dethrone God of War. It's definitely bring some fucking heat. You got to bring some heat if you're going to do that. And with this game, it's fucking doing it. It really is doing it. There's so many things to do. And I don't know what people are talking about when they were saying, they finished it in fucking, 40, 50 hours. I was excited about that in itself, but man, I don't know what you guys are doing. Now, if you're doing the straight story arcs, yeah, I can definitely see you doing that. But like somebody like me who likes to go around and just side quest the shit out of things and just get into stuff, that's another thing I was worried about compared to Assassin's Creed Odyssey, for example. Okay. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is a great game. It is one of my favorite RPGs. For me, that game is like a good, strong 9. But where it falls short is the fact that it overkills on the fucking missions, on a lot of the quests, because a lot of these quests are meaningless quests. They feel like they're just there for fluff to, which they didn't even need to do because the world is so fucking huge, right? When you compare that to Ghost of Tsushima, every mission for the most part in this game feels like it has some weight to it. It feels like they mean something. There's something behind it. You know what I mean? And then they throw their Japanese twist on it. That theme it just makes it so good, man. Like there were people talking about, just a perfect example, just one little dot on the piece of paper. Okay. One story out of so many. There's this forest that everybody claimed was haunted. And if you went into the forest, you were going to get your head chopped off. And, they put this whole story behind it, man. And they felt that the reason why it was happening was because all the trees in the forest were, from actual samurai who were killed, giving their life to save their home. And I went to investigate that to find out what it was. You had to wait till nighttime to do it. So the sun went down. I fucking went in there and I I found out that there were just some bandits in there trying to keep people from going in that forest. They were trying to keep the Mongols out of the forest because the Mongols are the name of the people who are actually invading this island and taking over everything. They were just trying to have it for themselves. They didn't want anybody coming in there. So they wanted to scare everybody, even the Mongols, from entering this forest. And they were the ones going in there, chopping off people's heads and letting everybody see the bodies or whatnot. So when I found that out, of course I mopped them up. I wrecked them. And then I came back and said, yo, this is what happened, yada, yada. It just stories like that. It's just so many of those, and then all the people you end up meeting in here, all the other characters, the history with these characters, and man, it's so flooded with great characters. And I haven't even met everybody, but from what I've seen so far, man, it's so dope. You get to help all these characters, have their own problems, and you help them, and you find out that, everybody is has layers. Like, you know, they're not simple. You know, nobody's perfect. You have people who they've all made mistakes and they're trying to deal with them, or they have terrible things happen to them, and they're trying to deal with it in their own ways. It's crazy. It's just an excellent game, and I don't know the story yet. I don't even know if there's multiple endings. I wasn't trying to find that out, but I can't wait to finish the entire game and then readdress everything and come back and you know, break down everything that I saw before I give it my final score, you know, where it's at on the totem pole with all the games that, you know, I've played on this system. And when you think about the games that have come out and that Sony has made and produced or whatever, I mean, it's awe-inspiring. It's jaw-dropping that they have so many of these hits, so many of these great games in their wheelhouse. But this one here, man, I swear to God, guys, I did not think this one hit me. All right. I thought this game was going to be a solid, you know, a solid 7.5, solid 8. Solid 8 for sure. I was like, you know, we're going to get about an 8 out of here. For me right now, man, it's about a 9.5. If I had to give it a grade right now. And that's only because I don't know all the story, and I don't, you know, I have to wait for the story to finish out. If the story comes out to be just as good as the gameplay, then we're going to have a 10 on our hands, guys. We just are. I love this game. The customization for the character is so excellent. I love what they've done, you know, with their outfits and stuff like that. Let me give you a perfect example of that. I mean, there's an outfit that you get earlier on in the game, which is my favorite. I still cannot part with it. I've tried to just do some other things. I found some other gear, and I've, you know, tried to work with it here and there, but I always keep going back to this one in particular, man. And it's, you know, it's basically built around a defensive, type of build. And I love this build, and not just, you know, what it brings to the table, like the stats and everything it gives you, but also the look of it. Like, it's just the dopest, you know, looking gear to me, to my eyes, that I've seen so far in the game. Now, like I said, I'm 1/3 in the game. I'm definitely going to find some dope other shit. I'm quite sure of it. But this one here, man, is just, I keep going head over heels for it. But anyway, you know, I got the samurai outfit, which I'm actually rocking right now. I literally just posted it. When you guys read this, just check out my Twitter and you'll see it. It's like an orange. It's like orange and black. You know, those are the main colors, but I'm full on samurai right now. I got my samurai helmet. I got my samurai mask, that I got from another, outfit, from another samurai suit from my father from the game, which is, that little arc right there is fucking dope. And sad, and you guys just have to play it, man, and trust me, man, that this game is just so many different stories with so many different characters from your past, present. It's just an amazing experience. But anyway, you know, I got this full on samurai suit, but you know, sometimes I don't want to go full samurai. I want to go kind of light. I'm like, okay, I got the samurai outfit on. I want to, you know, I don't want to be so bulky looking. Let me take some of these paddings off of me and let's change up some shit. You can do that. Okay, without changing the stats of what it gives you, and you're golden. You keep moving. That's just one thing about it. There's colors. Every weapon, your bows, and you know, you have two different bows. You have a long bow and a half bow. You can cosmetically change the colors, and you find all this stuff out in the world, doing different quests, different missions, and stuff like that. And they even tell you a lot of the things you know you didn't even know you wanted. You know, you go over here and say, okay, if I complete this, I'll get a fucking mask, or I'll get a new set of armor or something like that, you know, and then you can choose to take those on if you want to, or, you know, just go and do whatever the fuck you want. You know, the game gives you so much freedom, and just the landmarks and some of the things that are just out here for you to discover and find. It's just amazing. Like I said, the culture is what I love about this game. It's one of the big thing I love about the game. You know, when you walk up on a certain shrine and you fucking bow, you can bow to it. You know, just a bowing animation that you can use. And depending on where you're at and depending on where you do it, it actually causes things to happen. You know, like I went to this frog statue. It looks like a little monument or whatever, and I fucking just decided to bow to it. And when I did it, next thing I knew, hundreds of fucking frogs just came out of nowhere, man. And they were everywhere. They were all around me. You know what I mean? Like cockroaches. And then there was another monument, like a grave site, that I went to, and I basically, gave my respect and bowed to it and just decided to do that. And then next thing I know, the wind started to pick up and swirl around, and the leaves just started to kind of, look like a little baby tornado started to, fly around me. Just little things like that. It just makes it so much better. They Sucker Punch killed it, man. I mean, I have to give them all the praise in the world with this game. They fucking killed it. The graphics are another thing to talk about. All right. They're fucking excellent, man. If I'm comparing them to like God of War and Last of Us 2, which in my opinion, those are the only two other games graphically, those are the two graphically best looking games, PlayStation games I have seen, in my opinion, is God of War, and even God of War coming out in 2018. Like, it's hard to beat God of War. What they fucking did with those graphics and physics and shit. But The Last of Us 2 came out and they did some amazing fucking things, man. They really fucking did. Now, as far as how the characters look, then I'm gonna say that's between God of War and that's between The Last of Us 2. Ghost of Tsushima is good, but theirs isn't as good, if I'm being completely honest, with the character, graphic design. You know what I mean? Especially like when they're talking and their lips and their eyes and all of those things. As far as environment is concerned, like I said, they're both God of War, Last of Us 2, great fucking environments, man. Beautiful fucking backdrops. Photo mode crazy. You can go photo mode crazy on all of those. I have to give this to fucking Ghost of Tsushima. I have to, because the tone, everything that they fucking, it's just so beautiful, man. I mean, there's thunder and lightning and rain, heavy rain, and the weather will just change on you like a drop of a fucking hat. And then there's like dark forest, spooky kind of backdrops. It's crazy. And then all of a sudden these open fields, when it's storming and rain is just coming down hard, man, the lightning's going off, and these set pieces, man. And then when the sun is out and it's beautiful, and it's just all these colors of these flowers are so colorful. It's just so vibrant, a saturated beauty. You get everything with this. You burned up fucking villages, or backdrops of people hanging on, burned to a crisp, hanging on spikes. You get all facets of it. You get your whole plate is decorated beautifully. You get everything that you need. You got your steak, you got your vegetables, and you got your drink, your tea with the light ice on the table. They give it to you in spades. They really do, man. And every character design, they're like, oh man, they're so beautifully designed. The characters you meet, they're from what they wear, how they think. I met this monk who's, he loves fucking, he doesn't believe in revenge, but he'll still fight for what he believes in. He'll fight for a better world per se, but he's not one of those guys you're not going to piss him off and he's going to go and cut your head off. He's just going to do what he needs to do to kill you, just enough. And then he's going to walk away. But Jin, which is the character you play, no, you're not having none of that. Jin is going to run up. He's going to run up in your shit, and he's going to pull out the warm butter. He's going to put that Japanese butter on the counter, and he's going to melt it and let it liquefy, and he's going to do strange things to you in the dark. That's what Jin is going to do out here in these digital streets. And I love Jin for that. Now, a lot of people, I was listening to who reviewed the game. A couple people I heard say that, just a couple, but they were a couple, said that they didn't like Jin's character. Well, they didn't say they didn't like him. They just said that he didn't have personality, and he wasn't like that. But to me, I actually like Jin a lot in this game. I really do. He was born, into royalty or whatever. And, he had the best everything. He had the best trainers for the most part. He had the best this, the best that. He had a couple of people in here. Well, one in particular who kind of resented him for that a little bit. And I'll leave it at that. I'll let you guys get into the story of it and all of that there. But like I said, so many great things to love about this game. I think this is going to be my fucking game of the fucking year. It's definitely looking like that. And that's really saying something, man. And I say that to say this. Look, Sony has really done their fucking thing. They really have, man. If you can't see that, you're blind. You're completely blind. And I'm going to end it with this because this is why I'm getting a PlayStation 5. Okay, guys. If I could have both systems, I would definitely have them. And I still might eventually. But if I'm only getting one up front, I'm only getting one right now. And I'm perfectly cool with letting Xbox prove to me that they deserve my dollar, because I'm going off of just this last gen. I'm not even going back before that, which you can still argue back then, even on 360 days, especially later on in the life cycle. But I'm going off of what Microsoft has done and what Sony has done this generation, currently right now, what I'm playing right now. And that's all we can do. We can hope that Xbox delivers this next generation. We can hope that Sony does the thing. But from what we know Sony brought fire this generation. We know that. It's a fucking fact. And I don't think they're going to stop. I think they're going to ride this fucking wave until the wheels fall off. I think they know what they have. They're going to keep what they have, and they're going to build upon that. In other words, they're going to keep the most of these companies who are these first party companies who are working for them and making these excellent games. And then they're going to go a step further and buy more. Okay. And then we haven't seen it all. We have not seen it all yet, guys. So it's very, very intoxicating to be a Sony fan and to just be a gamer in general in the future, in the present day. And games like Ghost of Tsushima prove that we're here. Excellence is in the building, guys. Okay. They're not going anywhere. So I will definitely be back next week with some more news on a lot of different things, what's been going on with Nintendo, and definitely my wrap up of Ghost of Tsushima. Hopefully then with a good solid 6-7 days, I will get to finish it. I definitely plan to put most of my time for the foreseeable future in this game. I'm going to focus hard on this game for the next week, and I'm going to get it done. And I'm probably going to play some more and try to platinum it. Maybe. I think it's possible. A lot of people have been claiming that they can do it. I definitely wouldn't have a problem doing it because it's not one of those games that I could see myself just growing tired of. Like, it's just so fun. The combat is so good. It's just so addicting. It's hard. And then the story element on top of that is excellent as well. So that's going to do it for the podcast, guys. I want to thank everybody for listening. And if you're new to the podcast, like I said before, I hope to see you again. I hope you enjoyed, this podcast, enjoyed the show. To everybody who has been listening, who has been down with me from the beginning, I love you guys to the fucking fullest. And I appreciate all of your fucking support. Every time you download, every time you stream, whatever you're doing, man, I really appreciate you guys and gals for doing that. I'll say this again. If you guys want to get, reach out to me, maybe even become a guest on the show one day, you can definitely holler at your boy on social media on Twitter at StudioMguyvR, on Instagram at StudioMguyvR79. Check out the Facebook page, guys, at StudioMguyvR as well. And then also check out the YouTube channel, Studio MacGyver TV. If you haven't subscribed, definitely do your boy a favor and go subscribe to that channel, man. I'm trying to put out content on a weekly basis, 3-4 videos a week there. You can also catch the podcast there too if you're feeling froggy. And yeah, man, just more of me for more of you. I'm just trying to spread the love. And also check out Beautiful Nerds, guys. If you're into nerd culture, you should be, because you're listening to this podcast. If you're into anime, video games, and then they sell a lot of that shit. Okay. They sell a lot of things based on those two pillars, and you can check out Beautiful Nerds. That's www.beautifulnerds.com. Nerds is spelled Nurdz. And yeah, that's going to do it for the show. I'm going to get out of here, guys. I'm going to play some more Ghost of Tsushima before I go to sleep and edit this podcast today. And with that being said, I'm going to be out. This is Studio MacGyver, and you have been listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. See you next time.